The 2026 FIFA World Cup is spread across 16 cities in 3 countries, 16 different stadiums, 16 different atmospheres, 16 different experiences waiting for fans from all over the world. And they are not all equal. Some of these cities are going to deliver moments that people talk about for the rest of their lives. Others are going to leave fans wondering why they bothered. So today we are ranking every single host city from worst to best. And some of these answers might genuinely surprise you. Before we get into it, here is what makes this World Cup unlike any other in history. For the first time ever, 3 countries are co-hosting the tournament together. The United States, Mexico, and Canada. 16 cities, 16 stadiums, and the action runs from June 11 all the way through to July 19 when the final is played. That is 39 days of football, 104 matches in total, the biggest World Cup ever staged. Now let us rank these cities. Number 16, Toronto, Canada. Toronto is a great city. Genuinely one of the most impressive cities in North America. But as a World Cup host, it sits at the bottom of this list, and here is why. The stadium, BMO Field, has a capacity of just 45,000. That is the smallest venue at this entire tournament. For the biggest sporting event in the world, that feels underwhelming. Toronto also gets a relatively small allocation of matches. For a city of its size and stature, it simply does not get the big games that would make it a destination. Nice city, wrong venue. Number 15, Boston. Boston Stadium is Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, which is actually located about 45 minutes outside the city itself. That disconnect between the stadium and the city center is a real problem for fans who want to experience the full atmosphere of a World Cup. The distance means you are not getting that electric football everywhere feeling that the best host cities deliver. What Boston does have going for it is that it ranks as the safest host city in the entire tournament. And the food is great. But as a pure football experience, it sits near the bottom. Number 14, Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver is genuinely one of the most beautiful cities on this entire list. Mountains in the background, the ocean nearby. Stunning scenery in every direction. The problem is the stadium. BC Place has a capacity of around 54,000, and while it is a fine venue, it is not built for the kind of electric football atmosphere that the best stadiums in this tournament will generate. Vancouver also sits on the far west coast of Canada, which limits the number of fans who will realistically travel there for games. Beautiful city. Average World Cup venue. Number 13, Philadelphia, PA. Philadelphia is a city that lives and breathes sport. Eagles fans are among the most passionate sports fans in America. Lincoln Financial Field is a solid stadium. But Philadelphia sits in a difficult position in this tournament. It is close enough to New York that it risks being overshadowed by what is happening at MetLife Stadium just across the state line. It gets a decent number of matches, but none of the very biggest games. Philadelphia deserves more respect than it will probably get from casual fans during this tournament. Number 12, Seattle. Seattle has Lumen Field, which is one of the loudest outdoor stadiums in the world. Seahawks fans have genuinely held records for crowd noise there, and that kind of atmosphere translates perfectly to football. The city itself has a growing football culture built around its MLS team, the Sounders, who regularly fill that stadium with passionate fans. Seattle gets 6 matches in this tournament. The problem is cost. Seattle is an expensive city, and food and drinks prices around the stadium are among the highest in the tournament. Great atmosphere, expensive experience. Number 11, San Francisco. Has Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, which is another venue that sits outside the city proper rather than in the heart of it. San Francisco is one of the most iconic cities in the world, but it is also one of the most expensive, and that cost follows fans everywhere they go during the tournament. Food prices, hotel prices, and general costs of living in the area are among the highest of any host city. The venue is fine, the surrounding city experience is extraordinary, but the price tag is a real deterrent for fans traveling on a budget. Number 10, Houston. Houston gets more credit than people give it. NRG Stadium is a fully enclosed, air-conditioned venue, which matters enormously when you understand that Houston in June and July is brutally hot and humid. Playing and watching football in that kind of heat is genuinely difficult, and the fact that Houston Stadium has climate control is a serious advantage. The city itself is huge, diverse, and full of passionate football fans, particularly given its large Latin American population. Houston actually ranks number 1 in several independent fan experience studies. It is seriously underrated on this list. Number 9. Kansas City. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City holds the Guinness World Record for the loudest outdoor sports venue on the planet. The fans of the Kansas City Chiefs have broken world records for crowd noise multiple times, and that energy is going to transfer directly to World Cup football. If you want a stadium atmosphere that shakes the ground beneath your feet, Kansas City might be the best venue in this entire tournament. The city itself is affordable. Food and drink prices are among the cheapest of any host city, which makes it one of the best value destinations for traveling fans. Underappreciated. Seriously, underrated. Number 8. Guadalajara, Mexico. Guadalajara is Mexico's second city, and it brings something to this tournament that most American cities simply cannot match. Genuine, deep, passionate football culture that goes back generations. Estadio Akron holds around 48,000 fans, and Mexican supporters are some of the loudest, most passionate in the world. The atmosphere in Guadalajara for a World Cup match is going to be extraordinary. Add the food, the culture, the music, and the color that surrounds Mexican football, and you have something that feels completely different from anything on offer north of the border. Number 7. Monterrey, Mexico. Monterrey's Estadio BBVA is one of the most visually striking stadiums in this entire tournament. It sits against a backdrop of mountains, and the architecture is genuinely impressive. Capacity is around 53,500, and like Guadalajara, it brings the full force of Mexican football passion to every match. Monterrey has a strong local football culture of its own, with some of the biggest clubs in Mexican football based there. For fans who want a genuinely Mexican football experience without the scale and chaos of Mexico City, Monterrey might be the perfect choice. Number 6. Atlanta. Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium is one of the most technologically advanced stadiums in the world. It has a retractable roof, a 360-degree halo video board that wraps all the way around the inside of the stadium, and a capacity of around 75,000. It is hosting 8 matches in this tournament, including a semifinal, which puts it among the most important venues on the schedule. The stadium hosted matches during last year's Club World Cup, and the reviews were exceptional. If you want to watch football in the most visually stunning indoor environment on this list, Atlanta delivers. Number 5. Miami. Miami is going to be one of the most vibrant and electric cities in this entire tournament. The reason is simple: Miami has one of the largest Latin American populations of any city in the United States. When Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, or any South American team plays in Miami, the city essentially becomes a festival. The energy is unlike anywhere else on this list. Hard Rock Stadium holds around 65,000 fans, and Miami is also hosting the third-place playoff, which means it gets big games late in the tournament. The heat and humidity is something to plan for, but the atmosphere more than makes it worthwhile. Number 4. Dallas. By pure numbers, Dallas is the most important city in this tournament. AT&T Stadium, a colossal 94,000-seat venue, is hosting 9 matches, more than any other city in America. It is also hosting a semifinal, which means it will stage one of the 2 biggest matches before the final itself. The stadium is enormous, the sightlines are excellent, and Dallas delivers a genuinely big event feel. Food and drink prices are also among the most reasonable of any American host city. If you can only pick one American city to attend matches in, the scale and match allocation in Dallas makes it the most logical choice. Number 3. Los Angeles. Los Angeles is hosting 8 matches at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, including a quarterfinal. SoFi Stadium is widely considered the most beautiful stadium venue in this entire tournament. The building is a modern architectural masterpiece, open to the sky, spectacular sightlines, built to the absolute highest standards. The first USA match of the entire tournament takes place here on June 12th, which is going to be an incredible occasion. Los Angeles also has the second largest Mexican population of any city in the United States outside of the border region, which means every match here will have a special energy. The city itself needs no introduction. Entertainment capital of the world, world-class food, culture, and nightlife in every direction. Number 2. New York and New Jersey. New York is hosting the final. On July 19th at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the 2 best teams in the world will play each other for the most important trophy in football. 82,500 fans inside that stadium. The biggest match in football, in the biggest city in America, in the biggest World Cup ever staged. MetLife Stadium holds 82,500 people, and the infrastructure around the venue for the final includes upgrades that will support the largest crowd turnout of any match in the tournament. There is also a Coldplay-involved halftime show planned, inspired by the Super Bowl format. New York is expensive, no question about that. But for the sheer magnitude of what happens there on July 19th, it belongs near the very top of this list. Number 1, Mexico City. Mexico City is the only correct answer for number 1 on this list. And here is why. Estadio Azteca is the most historically significant football stadium in the history of the sport. It is the only stadium ever to have hosted 2 World Cup finals in 1970 and 1986. In 1970, Pelé's Brazil beat Italy there. In 1986, Maradona's Argentina beat West Germany there. And in that same 1986 tournament, Maradona scored what many people consider the greatest goal ever scored, the goal of the century, right there on that pitch. He also scored the infamous Hand of God goal in the same match against England. 2 of the most iconic moments in the history of football happened on that same pitch. Now Estadio Azteca is also opening this entire tournament. On June 11th, the first match of the 2026 World Cup is played right there, making it the only stadium to ever open a World Cup 3 times. The stadium holds 90,000 fans, and when it is full of Mexican supporters, the noise and the atmosphere is unlike anything else in football. Add Mexico City itself, one of the great cities of the world, with extraordinary food, culture, history, and energy, and you have the single most compelling destination in this entire tournament. Every other city on this list is hosting a World Cup for the first time. Mexico City has been here before. It knows exactly what this moment means, and it is going to deliver something unforgettable. So there you have it, all 16 host cities ranked from worst to best, Mexico City at the top, Toronto at the bottom, and everything in between, making up the most geographically spread and culturally diverse World Cup ever staged. Drop in the comments which city you think should be number 1 or which city you are hoping to visit. Subscribe for more World Cup 2026 content. We are here for every single match of this tournament.